this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar for December the 8th. And today's pouch is by Creative Craft Products. So I've already opened this. I've already taken the packaging off because it came in this clear bag. And this is a set of gift tags. And I don't really do presents. I like to give vouchers for, afternoon teas, going out for a meal with friends. I like to send vouchers rather than, sending parcels. So, but I know I would like to use these on a card. I've only just noticed the way these are cut. This one actually doesn't have the full size, I think. Looks a bit cut off. No, it does. Just looks like this edge is a bit higher than that one. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. So yeah, I thought I'd use these on a card. So I have to tidy these up a little bit and cut these little bits off. I might just go around with it with my guillotine. And yeah, I decided to do some stamping on these. And I thought, oh, it might be a good opportunity to get out some of my Christmas stamps that I haven't used yet, which are these here. I bought these off the internet because I really, really wanted snowman stamps. And then they're not being produced at the moment unless you find a company that's got a license. But a lady was selling these together with these trees here. And so I got these off the internet. And obviously, because it was early this year, I hadn't used them yet. And I sort of had forgotten about this. But the other thing I had completely forgotten about, because I don't even recall buying these, but I know where they're from. I bought these rubber stamp sets for 50p per set. These were in my local craft store, so I just went for that. These are big sheets, actually. I don't know whether you're supposed to cut these apart and what you do with them. I have never really worked with rubber stamps, but I think these are really, really cute. So I thought what I could do is, especially these little ones, I think what I will do is I just cut them out and use them on these gift tags. So, and then I will make a mental note that I do have these. These would actually work quite nicely as well because they're quite big. I might just make some more and use these. So yeah, I think, yeah, you can tell me otherwise, but I think for my purpose the best thing would be for me to just cut these out. I'll quickly do this off camera. I tidy these up. I will also prepare my card bases to stick these on, and then I show you how I stamp. I'll probably stamp off camera as well, but how I colour these in. So I have cut the stamps apart that I wanted. I've already arranged them in my Tim Holtz stamping platform. I thought I used this one rather than the other one from Craft Stash because this has actually got a rubber, we can't see that, it says rubber here, side of it. So I want to give that a try. I can't find my removable adhesive. The past weeks of crafting every day have taken their toll, so I'm just using this adhesive roller here and hopefully I can remove that. As I said, I've never worked with rubber stamps before, so I'm hoping I'm doing this right. So I'm putting some adhesive here on the back and hopefully can pick them up. See, this one's even big. Sometimes I find for a reason that the height of this is too high and I can't really pick things up and I need another layer. So I don't know whether they're different thicknesses to rubber stamps. I might even have to use another shim then. See, it's not picking up. So let me put some cardstock underneath. So I'll try that again. Cutting this off anyway a little bit, as long as I've got the bottom on it, I think this will be fine. Yeah, that worked. So sometimes that's all you need is a little shim. So ideally I wouldn't stamp straight on these, but I just give it a try. I think these are fine. They don't feel like they've got any residue on them, so I don't need to prep them, I think. So I'm just using my VersaFine as normal. Just make sure I've inked it up properly. Looks okay to me. I'm not even sure what the result looks like, whether it's the same effect as on silicone, but yeah, when I saw these I thought for 50p can't go wrong. So just finding my pressure tool, which is just a doorknob with some felt underneath. Sorry if the camera wobbles. Just giving these a bit of pressure. See what happened. Yeah, this one needs a bit more pressure on the top. Yeah, I can feel there is not enough contact with the stamping platform. Oops, sorry, I knocked my camera there. Yeah, wondering whether I need another little bit of a shim there. Just find another piece of cardstock. Just inking the top up again. And I've inked up the frame as well. Yeah, not very successful. I might just go over that with a pen afterwards. So I quickly stamp these as well, but because I have chosen a different card base for that, I've chosen these snowflakes. I decided not to use these cream coloured ones. I just cut my own in white, my own tags. I think that would be so much nicer. And then I show you different ways of colouring these in. You could also do some ink swooshing in the background first, leave them to dry, and then just stamp on these. I think this one I will just colour them in as they are. And with this one, yeah, I might do some ink swooshing first. I'll show you how to do that then. For the ink smooshing, if you've never done it before, you need a surface, a smooth surface to work on. I'm just using this old laminated sheet. You can use some baking parchment, you can just use a baking tray, anything that doesn't absorb the ink. You need some water reactive inks. I'm just going to use a mix today. This is the Living Elements Blue Lagoon, and you just put a bit of the ink down. You can use the Distress Oxides, the Distress inks. I've also got this Spectrum Noir Frosty and Bright. I don't think this is available anymore. I'm just adding a little bit there. Then you need some water. You can either apply this with a brush or just with a water spray bottle. Basically activate this ink. I will get a brush out because I sometimes don't like the shape of this, so just using a fan brush here, just mixing this all a little bit in. And then ideally you have some cardstock that can hold a bit of water. As I've already just cut my own here, this is a 300 GSM, I know this will hold up. Whether the tickets would hold it up, I don't know. So, and then you just press this in here, pick it up, and you can either dry this now and go in it again, or just leave it wet as it is, leave it to dry. You can add another colour if you wanted to, but dry it in between then, because otherwise you might have some muddy colours. If you've got an edge like that here, you can just use some tissue and dab that off. I will actually dry this now because I want a bit more pattern. So I'm just going in with my heat tool off camera and then go in again. If this is too diffused for you, you could just use less water. This, for example, I quite like this. It's got a bit of an edge here now and some white left. So this is really up to you. It's not a thing that you can plan 100%, but you can direct a little bit. So I quickly dry this and show how we can use the rest here. You can also apply some more ink afterwards. I think I'll do that as well. Oh, and don't forget, you can use your dinkles and your brush outs and your mica powders as well. I'm keeping it simple today. So I've dried them for just about 30 seconds, not much more. So I want a bit more of the darker colour, I think. But I'm not adding any more water. So I'm just dabbing this in. Got a bit of a pattern going there as well. And then I'm just going back in. You can only go in with certain parts of the gift tech. Can you see though? That's a much nicer effect. So you can sometimes, if depending how much water you use, you can leave it to run a little bit. But I'm happy with that. I want a bit more of a pattern on this one as well. It's coming through on the other side, but I don't mind because these will go on a card. Can you see there now? I think that's so much nicer. So I will quickly dry these as well, clear this all up, and then we're going to do the stamping. So for the colouring of these little fairies or angels, whatever they are, I just got the inspiration from the packaging, so I will go with their colour scheme. So I will use some yellow, or this is like a golden yellow, for the crown, and some red for the dress. I'm using these Artistro paint marker pens, but they're glittery ones. I also thought about using my Zig markers, my Kuretake pens, but I think maybe just on the shoes. And then I will use this Pearl Effect stuff from PAPERCRAFT for the white bits here, and probably a bit of shimmer pen for the fairy's wings. It is a few hours later. The pearl drops here have dried really nicely. It only took about half an hour. I also put a bit of black gel pen where the eyes were. By the way, I hadn't stamped properly here. I just went in with my fine liner pen and obviously the metallic pen, so that worked okay. But what I want to do with these here, because when I pop them onto the card base here, they look a bit plain still, I think. So I'm just going round the edges with my ink blending brush, and I've just got the paprika here. It's not the ideal colour, but I don't have many red inks. So just testing it here on the side, and I really just want to go around the edges. It always gives a bit of sort of visual dimension, not actual dimension obviously. Got a bit of a smudge there now, but it doesn't matter. So very light-handed, don't want to put too much colour on. You could also use a stencil brush if you don't want to go too far in. Let me show you the difference between the two, and let me show you the difference of what they look like on the card. Can you see? I think it always is so much nicer. So I quickly do this one here off camera, and then I show you what I attach here as a ribbon and how I arrange them on the card. I have got a mix of ribbon here. This one is actually from a t-shirt. You know, when you get these and they're included so they don't fall off the hangers. I always keep those ribbons. I think they're very good to use. So I thought I'd use 2 ribbons each. I've got a red one here, and this is a thinner red one, but I've only got one of those. So I thought if I tie them both and put them both through the hole, do one maybe at the front with a more solid red. I hope they go through at the same time. If not, you can always enlarge the holes a little bit, but I think this will be okay. It's just a bit fiddly. So I'm making sure this one's not twisted, and I want this shiny side on the outside. I don't mind being a bit wasteful and throwing some in the bin afterwards, some of it, the cut-offs. So once I've pulled this through, I'm just going to tie a knot here. Sorry if I'm going a bit off camera. I hope the cream coloured one is not too short now. Nope, it is too fiddly. So let me just tie the red one first. And maybe I can tie the cream coloured one on it. It's very slippery, this red one. So I'll see if I can just tie this into the knot. No, I'll just leave that and I'll see if I can touch it afterwards. So I want to tie this really, really tight so I've got a really slim knot. So I'll see if I can put this over the top. If not, I just miss the idea of having a second colour there. Yeah, don't like it anyway. So I just leave that like this. I'm cutting the ribbon off at an angle. And I'm also using my lighter here to score, or rather melt the edges so they don't fray. So just use the heat from the flame rather than the flame itself, and then that will stop the end from fraying. So I'm using this one for the other one. So use your scissors or pokey tool just to put it through. And same here. So yeah, my original idea was to put them like this or even hang them on the same bit, but I didn't want to cover too much of that top of the tag, so I will actually have them separately like this. So, and then I also stamped and sentiment from this here, but this time I was lazy. I actually put this on the table and put the tag on top rather than doing it the other way around. So that was a little tip. It worked, because I'm going to cut this to size anyway now, and I'm going to cut the Christmas and the spirit apart so I can have the Christmas there and the spirit a bit lower. And yeah, I think I will put both of these on foam pads, or maybe just one on a, I will glue this one down flat and put this one on a foam pad, and then decide what I want to do with the sentiment. And with the sentiment as well, I will go round with the red ink as well. So I'll quickly do this off camera and then I'll show you the finished card. So this is my finished first card. I think this is really, really nice, very cheerful, and I like the sparkle there on the fairies or angels. Yeah, I think this is really cute. So for the second card, as I have made these tags myself, first of all we need to put a hole in the top here. I don't have a crocodile punch, but it's really easy to put your own holes in just with a normal punch. I'm just marking where the holes need to go. If you need to measure it, you can do that, but my eyesight is actually quite good. So I've got my standard hole punch here. I've got the bottom removed so I can see where I'm putting the hole, and all I need to do is align my mark here with the hole punch and press it through. So very simple. There we go. So when I stamped this, I left a snowflake here on the top of the stamp. I don't like this particularly. So with this one, I definitely want these to overlap. I will show the snowflake a little bit. I don't want to cover it completely, but I don't want to be it as bold as it is. But before I stick these on here, and again I will have to find a sentiment, I want to do something to the edge of these. First of all, they are a bit bent from when they dried, but if you're not happy with that, you can always put them through the die cutting machine. I think I can just bend them like this. But I thought, I love my stickers, and I could put some stickers on the edge here, and I then have to leave it to dry for a moment. You can also use your glue pen and put some foiling on it, or you could use some double-sided adhesive for some foiling. Loads of options are there. So all I'm doing here is just making sure it's flowing nicely. Yeah, it's coming out okay. So I'm just going along here with a bead. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm putting my finger in there in a moment. So I don't think I'll go all through the top, as you can see, and I'll put my finger through it now. It just spreads it out a little bit, and then we'll dry so much quicker. So I'm just moving some residue here to the top, especially as this will be covered anyway. I love this stickers. It's a diamond one, I think it's called. Yeah, it's like holographic glitter. I think it's great. A bit of a magpie. I love anything sparkly. I hope the camera picks it up. So I'm doing that with the other one now as well. Leave that to dry for a few minutes, and in the meantime I'm going to stamp a sentiment. I think I'll just do it on white, and yeah, I think I might already cut it down, and I've also already chosen some twine as well. I have dried the stickers with my heat tool. It's almost dry. There's a spot here that still needs drying. What I didn't mention earlier is off camera I have coloured these images in with just my Kuretake pens. Just a little bit of pink and some beige and brown for the actual bear here and the sleigh, and here for the broomstick and the hat. So the first thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to align this on top of this. I'm just putting some glue down here because I want the holes to sit on top of each other. So just putting some glue here. Hope it's not too much there now. Just moving that down a little bit here, and then I'm just pressing this down, and I can vary this a little bit. I know approximately how I want this to sit on the card. Sorry, I'm going off camera there. So I want this there, and I want this at an angle. I think this is fine. What I might do is go over that star here that I don't particularly like with another pen, just to take the edge off. So let me just find my scrap paper here, just to press this down. So and this is now so much easier than for me to put onto the card. So for this, for these tags here, I've got this sort of thin ribbon here, but I've also got a blue and white twine, and I think that will go nicely with the theme. So with this one here, I'm hoping I can get both through the holes. Through the holes easily. So I'm just tying these here in the middle. Don't want to be it too tight because I don't want to tear it on the paper. So, and with the twine, I don't want this to fray, so I'm just tying knots at the end. So, don't want this to be a bit longer. If it does overhang on the card, it can always move back. You can always sort of tuck it into the envelope. So, and with this one, I'll do the same as before. I'll just use my lighter on it. So these sentiments are from this stamp set here that I showed you. So if you got something similar there, I just chose two sentiments. I thought one would be nice here at the top, and this bear actually has got something to look at, and then this one I can just pop at the bottom. And I think again I will pop these on some foam. I think they can do with some dimension, but these I will glue straight onto the card, and this one I think I will pop here on the edge. And I think that's all this card needs. So I will do this off camera now, and don't want to bore you with that. But yeah, I think these are two really nice cards, and I've got, of course, quite a few tags that I can use for some other projects. Yeah, so if you like these cards, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm creating with the rest of the advent calendar, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.